Assalamu alaikum listeners, I'm Saad Tabani. This is Pitch Talk on Inspire FM. In this show, we'll be talking about the latest cricket news. So if you do have any questions, feel free to phone Inspire FM and we'll get those questions answered in the next show, inshallah. So I'll give a brief overview of the topics. The first news which I'll be discussing about is the Pakistan vs South Africa test match. We'll get into the analysis about that. And then the second news is about Afghanistan, Ibrahim Zadran. And then we'll also be discussing about the third news, which will be India vs West Indies test match. We'll get into that as well. And then I think we also have a news about Mohammad Amir, if I'm not mistaken. We'll get into that as well. And so, as I mentioned, if you do have any questions, feel free to phone Inspire FM. And, we'll get those questions answered. And if you do have any queries related to the show, then we'll get those answered too. So without further ado, I'll get into our first topic. The first news is about the Pakistan team. The Pakistan team have ended the world champions South Africa's unbeaten record return by completing a 93-run win and 93-run entertaining win in a hard-fought test in Lahore between Pakistan versus South Africa. So the Proteas, whose 10-match winning streak in Test cricket, got a victory over Australia in the World Test Championship final. In June, Australia was dismissed for 183 in pursuit of 277. And with that, having resumed on 51 for 2, they lost the first innings centurion Tony Dizorzi LBW to left-arm quick Shaheen Shah Afridi to the third ball of the day to push the game in Pakistan's favour, actually. So, left-arm spinner Noman Ali caused havoc for the South Africa batsman as he took 10 for 191 in the match, removing Tristan Stubbs for 2 and bowled Dewald Brevis, who offered some resistance, with a runner bowled 54. And the amazing off-spinner Sajid Khan also took advantage of the sharp turn and to the end opener Ryan Rickerton's stay. He lasted 145 balls for just 45 runs. I mean, that's how slow he played on such a difficult surface. At times, you can't actually blame him, to be honest, because on such a pitch which doesn't favour the batsman, if you're just taking your time and taking the innings deep, you're most likely to score runs. And even though he got 45, he could have done better in that circumstance. So Shaheen returned in the afternoon session to knock over the tail with a fine display of reverse swing bowling. He had Kyle Veroni LBW for 19 and bowled Pranalan Subrayan and Kagiso Rabada to seal the win for Pakistan. And it was both sides' first match of the 2025 to 2027 Test Championship cycle, and it moves Pakistan straight into second place behind leaders Australia. And Pakistan's victory was based on a run contribution of 93 in the first innings by Imam al-Haq and Salman Ali Agha bang on number 7, which got Pakistan to 378. So with that, in the second innings for Pakistan, they actually weren't at their best with the bat, and they actually struggled, to be honest. Where Pakistan actually scored 167, with Shafiq scoring 41 of 73, Imam failing in the second innings, scoring 0 runs of 2 balls, Shan Masood scoring 7 runs of 17 balls, Babar Azam scoring 42 runs of 72 balls, so Shakir Ta'i of 53. He was looking good with a good strike rate of 71, but then he lost his wicket, holding up to mid-wicket to the fielder Tristan Stubbs, bowled by Sinaran Musasami. Mohammad Rizwan getting out on 14 runs of 27 balls. Salman Ali Agha 4 runs of 11 balls. Shaheen Shah Afridi failed to trouble the scorers with a 6-ball duck in the second innings. And with that, Noman Ali scored 11 runs of 16, Sajid Khan was 1, and Hassan Ali remained not out on 0. So if we were to talk about South Africa's second innings, Aidan Markram scored 20 runs of 37. Ryan Rickerton, as I mentioned, scored 71 of 137. He was looking okay, but then he got out to Salman Ali Agha. Rian Mulder got out on 17 runs of 41 balls. Tony Dizorzi scored a fighting 104 of 171 balls, But otherwise, no one else really troubled the scorers. And in the second innings, South Africa were all out for 183. As I mentioned, Ryan Rickerton 45 runs off 145 balls. Dewald Brevis 54 runs off 54 balls. Strike rate of 100. With the help of 6 fours and 2 sixes. With the bowling department for Pakistan, as I mentioned, Noman Ali has been very good, especially in the second innings. 28 overs, 4 maidens, 79 runs, 4 wickets, a very good economy of 2.8. Sajid Khan, 14 overs, 1 maiden, 38 runs. 2 wickets he gave, 2.7 has been his economy. And Sheen really showed an amazing exploit of reverse swing bowling, troubling the batsman in the end, especially the tail with figures of 4 for 33 in having bowled 1 maiden in 8.5 overs. At an economy of 3.7, so he's been very good as well. Hassan Ali in both innings failed to take wickets, but he's still a very good bowler for Pakistan. He still bowled decently in terms of economy, but at the same time, we'd expect more from Hassan Ali when it comes to taking wickets and creating an impact. When he plays the next Test match, that's something to see. And the next Test match, if I'm not wrong, will be played in Rawalpindi on the 20th of October. So that's interesting to see. Who performs in that and who wins in that. So that's something that will remain to see. On the 20th of October on Monday, second Test match at Rawalpindi, 5:30 a.m. UK time, 9:30 a.m. Pakistan time. Maybe on this pitch, Pakistan could even consider playing an extra spinner, maybe instead of Hassan Ali, but I would play Hassan Ali personally. And otherwise, I think the team is very good and set to go for the second Test match. If they want to remain unchanged, that's good. That's good as well for Pakistan. So let's see how they do. I'd say they'll have to win the next Test match as well if they really want to do good in this World Test Championship cycle. They have to win basically all their games at home. I think they got a Test series against Sri Lanka coming up soon. In November, January time. Maybe I think it's either November and January. So then I think during that time, Pakistan will also have to beat Sri Lanka at home as well, which won't be as easy because Sri Lanka plays spin very well as compared to South Africa. But that remains to see. That will be an interesting Test series as well. Moving on to my next news, which is about the Afghanistan cricket team. Afghanistan's batsman Ibrahim Zadran has been fined 15% of his match fee, and he's been awarded a demerit point for breaching the ICC Code of Conduct during the third ODI against Bangladesh on October the 14th. The incident occurred in the 37th over Afghanistan's innings when Zadran dismissed for 95 runs and an amazing 95 runs off 111 balls, and he struck a piece of equipment near the dressing room with his bat. And this act marked his second consecutive dismissal in the 90s, having also scored 95 in the second ODI of the series. And the action constituted a violation of the Article 2.2 of the ICC Code of Conduct for the players and player support personnel, which addresses abuse of cricket equipment or clothing, ground equipment or fixtures and fittings during an international match. The 23-year-old admitted the offence and accepted the sanction proposed by match referee Graeme Labrori, eliminating the need for a formal hearing. And with that, Ibrahim Zadran's first offence took place in a 24-month period. And under the ICC rules, accumulating 4 or more demerit points within 24 months results in a suspension point which can lead to a ban, 2 suspension points which can equate to a ban from 1 Test, 2 ODIs or 2 T20s, whichever occurs first. Zadran's innings was instrumental in Afghanistan's 3-0 series victory over Bangladesh. So it's good to see that Afghanistan have beaten Bangladesh, because if I'm not wrong, in the Asia Cup, Bangladesh beat Afghanistan, and Afghanistan's performances were not as what was expected of them, personally, because they were one of the best teams in those conditions in the UAE, but they really failed to live up to the mark. But it's good to see that they've beaten Bangladesh and proved a point that they're still one of the best Asian teams in the world. So probably competing even now with Pakistan personally. So the third news is about the India vs West Indies series, as India wasted less time in completing a clean sweep over West Indies to give Shubman Gill his first Test series win as captain. Opener KL Rahul, wicket-keeper batsman KL Rahul hit an unbeaten half-century as India sealed a 7-wicket win on the 5th morning in Delhi. And with that, it keeps the hosts third in the early stages of the World Test Championship standings, externally behind Australia and Sri Lanka. The win was set up by centuries in the first innings by Yashasvi Jaiswal, 175 runs, and Shubman Gill 129 run not out. With that, West Indies were bundled out for 245 in reply, but did manage to fight back and make India bat again with a better second innings show. John Campbell and Shai Hope hit centuries, taking the Toys to 271 runs for the last 3 wickets before Hope was bowled by Mohammad Siraj and the mid-order collapsed. But if I was to talk about West Indies' performances in general, in this Test match, I think it's been much better. They showed some fight, which is good to see, as it was not really one-sided, to be honest. Because in the batting department, West Indies in the second innings they scored 248 runs, so that's okay in terms of a score. It's not very good, but it's okay with John Campbell scoring 10 runs of 25, Chanderpaul 34 of 67, Alec Asanazi scoring 41 runs of 84, Shai Hope 36 of 57, Kevin Peary 23 runs of 46, Anderson Phillip 24 of 93. So with the bowling department, Ravindra Jadeja and Kuldeep Yadav, the spinners were instrumental in bowling out West Indies for 248, with Ravindra Jadeja bowling 19 overs, bowling 5 maidens, 46 runs he gave with 3 wickets he took at an economy of 2.4. And with that, Kuldeep Yadav 26.5 overs, 4 maidens, 82 runs, 5 wickets he took at an economy of 3.1. As I mentioned, I think India in the first innings scored 518. Yashasvi Jaiswal 175 of 258 balls, one innings by him, 22 fours. Good striker of 67, KL Rahul 38 of 54, good striker of 70, Sai Sudarshan 87 runs of 165 balls, 12 fours. Shubman Gill 129 of 196, Nitish Reddy 43 of 54, Dhruv Jurel 44 of 79. And then in the second innings for West Indies, 390 all out. John Campbell 115 runs of 199 balls with the help of 12 fours and 3 sixes as striker at 57. Shai Hope 103 runs of 214 balls, 12 fours, 2 sixes as striker at 48. Rustin Chase 40 runs of 72 balls, 4 fours, 1 6 as striker at 55. Justin Greaves 50 runs of 85 balls, 3 fours as striker of 58. So with that, I'd say West Indies, especially in the second innings, they showed some good fight. 390 was a decent score, in Test cricket in general, but it wasn't good enough to compete with India's amazing batting, because we all know India do very good at home. The ability to read the conditions and play and perform very well, tackle whether it be spin bowling or fast bowling. It's amazing to see, because their batsmen completely dominate any type of bowling, whether it be spinners or fast bowlers. India are very good in their conditions, even though at times they've struggled. If I remember recently, I think last year, whether against New Zealand, they lost at home with the spinners, New Zealand spinners Mitchell Santner and Rachin Ravindra, if I'm not mistaken, that's his name. He also was instrumental for New Zealand in the bowling department when it came to performing against India at home. I think that's why India have struggled, but in general, India have been very good at home because of their ability to perform their consistency and the ability to read the conditions as well, and that their domestic tournament Ranji Trophy is very strong. Their system and structure is very strong, which is why they have able to perform very well in those conditions, whether it be spin bowling or fast bowling. The ability to read the conditions, perform in those conditions, adapt to the conditions, that's what makes them amazing. That's what makes them one of the best teams when it comes to performing in home conditions. Then if I get into the next news, it's about Pakistan star fast bowler Mohammad Amir. The newly established franchise creator Calvary on Wednesday announced the signing of former Pakistan pacer Mohammad Amir for his debut in the Abu Dhabi T10 League set to begin on November the 18th. The left-arm pacer is among the most experienced bowlers in franchise cricket, having represented teams in the current Premier League, men's and the 100 INT20, Bangladesh Premier League and Lankan Premier League. Mohammad Amir has so far taken 458 wickets in 348 T20 matches at an economy rate of 7.15. He also has 62 T20s, played 62 T20s for Pakistan, claiming 65 wickets. And recently, Creator Calvary also signed staff Zimbabwe all-rounder Sikandar Raza and USA's Andreas Gus in category A, legendary South Africa spinner Imran Tahir in category B, and experienced top order batter from the UAE Mohammad Wasim got selected and picked up as well. Earlier this week, the franchise announced the addition of prominent T20 stars West Indies all-rounder Jason Holder, England's all-rounder Liam Livingstone, and also former Pakistan all-rounder Yasir Arafat was appointed as the head coach. The latest news is about Shahid, and the next news I've got is about Shahid Afridi. Pakistan former star cricketer Shahid Afridi, legendary all-rounder, applauded the national men's team's amazing performance for their 93-run victory over the reigning ICC World Test champion holders South Africa in the series opener at the Gaddafi Stadium on Wednesday. Shahid Afridi, talking to a micro-blogging website on X, formerly known as Twitter, Afridi particularly praised left-handed opener Imam Haq, skipper Shan Masood, all-rounder Salman Ali Agha, as well as captain Mohammad Rizwan, who all scored half-centuries in the first inning, laying the foundation of Pakistan in order for the bowlers to have something to bowl at. And what Shahid Afridi had to say was, superb win by Pakistan against the champion side. Love the team spirit. That's how test matches are won. Imam, Shan, Agha and Rizwan batted well to lay the foundation, and then the bowlers did the rest to see a memorable win. That's what Shahid Afridi had to say. And that's good to see that Pakistan's former all-rounder and a legend is showing support for the players. And in general, that's very good to see, because when such legendary cricketers are going to show support for these for the current players, then it's good to see in general. So we've got a few other topics to discuss as well. We'll discuss about when the Pakistan Cricket Board will be announcing the Pakistan T20 squad for the South Africa series. The white ball series is set to begin on October 28th with the first T20 scheduled in Rawalpindi. The Pakistan Cricket Board is expected to announce the national squad for the upcoming three-match T20 series against South Africa in the next 3 to 4 days, and according to sources, the white ball training camp currently underway at the Lahore Cricket Academy ground in Lahore under supervision of head coach Mike Hesson. It includes several probable players for Pakistan's upcoming assignments, with the whiteboard series set to begin on October the 28th, and the first 20 is scheduled in Rawalpindi after completing the second round of the ongoing Quaid-e-Azam Trophy 2025-2026. Several players have joined the camp. Among them, Sami Ayub and Hussain participated in an intense training session, while Ricky batters Usman Khan and Mohammad Shahzad was also in action. The camp, which began on October 13th, has so far featured 3 days of rigorous training. Players such as Haris Rof, Sahib Zada Farhan and Fahim Ashraf also took part in the camp, which included scenario-based match sessions to fine-tune white ball preparations. Meanwhile, the national test squad is currently engaged in a two-match test series against South Africa, as I mentioned, having secured a 93-run win victory in the opening test at Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore, after defending 277 runs and bowling out the visitors South Africa for 183 runs to take a 1-0 lead in the series. So, with that, I'll also get into the next news, which is about Mohammad Hafiz. The former Pakistan all-rounder has spoken, as he said, that he's urged the Pakistan Cricket Board to give more focus to red ball cricket following the national team's victory over South Africa in the series opener at Gaddafi Stadium on Wednesday. And Hafiz took to social media platform X, which is formerly known as Twitter, as he said, all formats, technical and tactical issues will be resolved if we pay detailed attention to red ball cricket. Pakistan PCB management should prioritise red ball cricket at all levels. Best wishes. So, it is permanent to mention that the hosts outclassed the Proteas by 93 runs to take a 1-0 lead in the series, successfully defending a target of 277 runs and bowling out the visitors for 183 runs. South Africa's chase faltered early as skipper Aidan Markram was dismissed by Noman Ali for just 3 runs, leaving the visitor at 13 for 1, as I mentioned. So, just basically going into the test match in a bit of more detail. Nouman Ali struck again soon after removing Rian Mulder for a duck. So moving on to, if we were to look at the other news ahead of the second test match, according to sources, Aqib Javed is expected to inspect a spin-focused Rawalpindi pitch ahead of the second test. So, Director High Performance and National Selector Aqib Javed is expected to arrive in Rawalpindi on Friday to inspect the pitch ahead of the test match against South Africa. And he will ensure that the pitches are fully prepared for the second test match, the final test match between Pakistan and South Africa, which are scheduled to begin on October the 20th at the Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium. And with that, according to the sources, a spin-friendly surface is being prepared in Rawalpindi, with the Pakistan Cricket Board, in terms of the pitches, are working tirelessly over the last 3 days to create a suitable condition for the test match. Both teams are set to depart for Islamabad tomorrow, and Pakistan holding a 1-0 lead in the two-match test series following a commanding 93-run victory in the opening test at the Gaddafi Stadium, Lahore. The hosts successfully defended a target of 277, bowling out South Africa 183 on the final day. So with that, we'll see how Pakistan prepare the pitches for the test match against South Africa in Rawalpindi. So we'll also be talking about women's cricket as well. Pakistan crashed out. Pakistan women's team crashed out the Women's World Cup semi-final race against England's clash, as the match was abandoned due to rain, but Pakistan were actually very close to winning the game. Pakistan, as I mentioned, have been knocked out of the ICC Women's Cricket World Cup 2025 semi-final after their match against leaders England, as it was called off due to persistent rain at the Premadasa Stadium on Wednesday. So the Green Shirts, chasing a revised target of 113 runs from 31 overs, were comfortably placed at 33 runs for no loss in 6 overs when the rain intervened, and it became steady with time and ultimately resulted in the abandonment of the must-win fixture for Pakistan. And because there were no reserve days, allocated for the league stage fixtures, the two teams shared a point each. Consequently, Pakistan remained at the bottom of the standings with just 1 point in 4 matches. However, England managed to hold on to the top spot with 7 points in as many games. The abandonment of the fixture drew curtains on Pakistan's hope to qualify for the semi-finals, and they can now attain a maximum of 7 points by winning all 3 of their remaining fixtures. Despite being out of the semi-final contention, Pakistan next face former champion New Zealand at the same venue on Saturday, while England's next match is scheduled against co-host India and Indo on Sunday. Pakistan, I think it was Pakistan who were put into bat first. The former champion managed to accumulate 133 runs for 9 in the reduced 31 overs. Bowling all-rounder Charlie Dean remained the top scorer for England. Actually, if I'm not wrong, bowling all-rounder Charlie Dean remained the top scorer for England with a cautious 33 runs of 51 deliveries laced with 3 boundaries. So this was England batting first. Pakistan captain Fatima Sana led the bowling charge for Pakistan with 4 wickets for 27 runs in her 6 overs. She was supported very well by Sadia Iqbal, who bagged 2 wickets, while Dania Begum and Ramina Shamim made 1 scut apiece. And with that, Pakistan were not able to qualify further on, and this was mainly due to the rain conditions, and that the conditions were not suited very well for the match to be held forward. So with that, Pakistan got out, and they were very close to winning, could have got to the final, but it wasn't meant to be. The next news about Afghanistan Cricket Board, and they have announced its squad for the upcoming 1 test match and 3-match T20 series against Zimbabwe. Left-arm fast bowler Bashir Ahmed, who has recently represented Afghanistan in ODI and the T20s, were part of the previous test tour to Zimbabwe, retained his place in the test squad. So the test squad has the inclusions of promising talents like Zia Rahman Sharifi, the left-arm spinner, Sharifuddin Ashraf, right-arm leg spinner Khalil Gurbaz, who apparently impressed in the domestic red ball season. Star leg spinner Rashid Khan will be rested as precaution to manage his workload and maintain his peak performances ahead of the upcoming international fixtures. And then with that, Afghanistan are looking to focus on domestic cricket and high-performance programs, and they are looking to successfully implement plans in international cricket. And if I were to talk about Afghanistan's test squad, Hashmatullah Shahidi, Rahmatullah Gurbaz, Ibrahim Zadran, Abdul Malik Asar Zazai, Ikram Al-Keen, Bashir Shah, Shahidullah Kamal, Ismat Alam Sharifullah Deen Ashraf, Zia Rahman, Akbar Yamin, Ashman Zai, Zia Rahman Sharifi, Khalil Gurbaz, and Bashir Ahmed. That's the squad, the test squad for their series coming up. So this wraps up today's show. If you do have any questions, feel free to phone Inspire FM and we can get those questions answered in the next show, inshallah. And hopefully in the next show next week we'll bring you new upcoming latest cricket news that are occurring around the world of cricket. So if you do have any questions, feel free to phone Inspire FM. I'll see you in the next show. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.